Folks, today we are here in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. You smell that fresh mountain air. It's only 20 degrees here. And today is an important day on our YouTube channel. It turned 9 years old today.
The weather is supposed to get really cold and we're supposed to get some snow, so that could be exciting.
Yes, we got some snow coming
we're here
tomorrow.
In the national park. We've
been sick for the last 2 weeks, ever since Christmas. And man, it was, and if you've been following us on our live streams, you guys will already know that. And there's some rule changes. The president had signed a bill that's going to allow small creators like ourselves to film back in the national park and make it easier for us to film in the national park again. So Dawn, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to head towards Cataract Falls. We're not going to do anything too strenuous because we're still not 100%. You know what I mean? Well, I got a little bit of snow up here on the old mountaintop, didn't I? Just a little bit of snow. Good morning, Gatlinburg. I had to stop to say hi. Beautiful views from the overlook up here. And there is some snow in those higher elevations. So 441 is closed due to snow and ice. Caution, ice and snow on the road. So you can't go up and over to Cherokee, but we're not planning to go over there. But it would be nice to go over there because I bet you have a lot of snow up there. Yeah, it's kind of slick walking the trails today. And yeah, we're on our way to Cataract Falls. The sun is out, but it's still cold at 20 degrees, but it feels good to have the sun shining down on you. And it's a great day for a little walk to a little waterfall that pretty much anybody can do. And I'm excited to be back here in the Great Smoky Mountains, doing what we love probably the most, is to, take in nature and everything else. And we got a lot of exciting things coming up in the channel. We got some great news for us filming in national parks, which I'm super, super excited for. So you guys all know a few years ago, there was some terrible news that vloggers like ourselves who post to YouTube and TikTok and all the social media platforms were facing difficulties and a lot of government red tape to be able to film the national parks. We made a video on that. We were upset because the national parks are our favorite thing. It's part of our lives. That's the reason why we live here in the Smoky Mountains, is because of, the mountains themselves. And so we had the rules to me were never really clear. And we're not going to get into our beliefs about, the rules. A lot of social media content creators went to their platforms, and a lot of folks banded together. A lot of communities banded together. A lot of you guys out there had reached out to your Congress people saying, hey, we don't think it's right about, not being able to film our videos, everybody's home videos in a national park, and be able to post them to social media. And a lot of folks felt that maybe it was against our our rights. You should be able to film, you know what I mean? Especially when you're on public lands. And this country is so great because when you see that people's voices are being heard by our government, by our elected officials, and then they put this onto the ballot, the Recreation Act, and it passes the House, it passed the Senate, and it went on the president's desk. And on my birthday, January the 4th, President Biden signed the Recreation Act, which is going to allow folks to post on social media like ourselves without the fear that the Department of Interior is going to creep up one day and, you know what I mean, and come and get you, and that's great. That's great because, these are all our lands and we like to share our experiences. In fact, a lot of these national parks were founded on folks coming to the parks, taking photos, doing paintings, taking in their interpretation, I guess it's the word, right? Interpretation. Anyways, of what they love to do and share it amongst our friends. So it's a great day in America. It's a great that our government works and it's out for the people. I feel good about this, don't you? I mean, when was the last time the government ever did anything for you? At least that's what a lot of people say. When was the last time the government ever did anything for us? Well, in this case, it has, and now creators can, and you and everybody can come in and, and share their experiences. Another great thing about the Recreation Act is that there's going to be a lot of new infrastructure coming into the national parks, a lot of newer, they're going to modernize the national park system and make it better for all. And there's more funding in that bill for national parks. So I think it's a win-win for outdoor enthusiasts or, folks like ourselves who like to just document our life heading to Cataract Falls today. That's what we're going to do. Let's go over and check out the falls. And it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining just perfect today. My camera's trying to adjust for the, for the different light settings that are going on. But after being sick for the last 2 weeks, and even waking up this morning and having a little bit of, you ever heard that term bubble guts? Yeah. It's kind of like, it's, where you kind of, your stomach's kind of like, that's what I've been kind of dealing with. But this fresh air is just feeling like, it's I always say these mountains, yeah, it feels good. These mountains like cleanse the soul. Now I heard there's some changes here at Cataract Falls. They put up some barriers. So because people were, it's a highly trafficked area. And they're trying to keep people off the vegetation is what they're trying to do because there's a lot of erosion going on. So I want to see this because it's been a while since we've been here. You can also tell my voice is starting to... Yeah, so here's some of the new fencing. Isn't that something? Wow, I kind of like the fencing in a way, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it'd be, but it looks. I mean, it could look a lot worse. It's not a chain link fence, right?
I think it looks okay.
Yeah, I like it.
The woods.
And you don't want to see the national park get fenced in, but there's so many folks visiting these days.
They want people to stay on the trail. So
every year it seems like the park has more and more folks visiting, and so it they got to do things too. They have changed this a lot. I remember you could walk all up in there, and as soon as we turn the corner, there it is. Cataract Falls. Let's get a closer look. Every season gives you a new perspective of these mountains. In the fall, you get the leaves In the winter, you get the icicles. Now, this is not the biggest waterfall in the national park. It's not even the smallest, but it's easy to get to. And if you visit Sugarland's Visitor Center, you can ask one of the rangers. It's right behind it. A little bit of a hike, nothing major. Kids can even do it. And yeah, it's nice to see it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cataract Falls, everyone.
There it falls.
So we are super excited for the new year. We're hoping there's gonna be a whole lot of camping, and a lot more national parks. And the new Recreation Act came just in time because we are planning to head out west. We're gonna do all the national parks out there, like Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the list goes on and on. The Grand Tetons. And that's a part of the country we haven't visited. It's part of Dawn's 50 states. So in 2025, expect more national parks and more traveling, mostly maybe in the summer and fall of 2025 is when we're planning to do that. We're also going to be doing some international stuff, some more cruising, and more Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and it's an amazing time. We're gonna see what else we can get into while we're here. I don't want to be too far from the car today. I want to try to keep more on the warm side. The worst thing would be to get a relapse of what we had. Oh my goodness! And we have some big trips coming up, and we got to be healthy for it, you know. So you're going to notice that Laurel Falls is closed, and it's going on a year-long trail maintenance. So if you're planning to come to the Smoky Mountains in 2025 and visit Laurel Falls, you might want to rethink that until 2026. Now, I don't know when they're supposed to complete. But yeah, as you can see, there's all kinds of construction barrels, and there's the trail there. Yeah, so it's supposed to be shut down yet again for a whole year. So now we're over here at Elkmont, one of my favorite places. You can tell I'm losing my voice. My voice is still. Oh, so folks, now we're over here at Elkmont. We decided to come over and take a look at the troll bridge. I want to call it the ferry bridge. I always want to call it the ferry bridge. We have a ferry house. We don't have. Anyways, that's a whole nother video for another day. And it snowed, a little bit of snow, but we're supposed to get up to 5 inches starting tonight. And it's quite busy. There's quite a bit of folks here. But that's because, yet again, the national park is not really accessible to a lot of the different areas. So everybody's kind of concentrating here. And this area is usually open, but not always. Like tomorrow, when we get to 5 inches of snow, they probably won't let us in here. So we're going to get a little bit of our Great Smoky Mountain National Park snow today, I guess. Well, you're looking beautiful today, Dawn. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to check out the Spence Cabin. Check out the little river. And we're going to head to that troll bridge. I just want to get some photos. Maybe a little dusting of snow on everything. Makes it all pretty. During the synchronous fireflies, this is the area where you can see them. People line up on both sides of the trail here. At one time, this is called Millionaire's Row. There's all these fancy cabins lined up for all like the socialites out of Knoxville and surrounding areas. But they all went to the wayside and fell apart. The only one we have left is the Spence cabin, which is a perfect example of one of the houses that were here on Millionaire's Row. Now we still have Daisy Town, which would have been like kind of like the mid-class town, you know. That's where like, you know, people that weren't so millionaire. And the troll bridge. Most people walk by and don't even see it here. Yeah, great place to come and get your family photo. I love this little bridge.
Yeah.
And just think, that was somebody's entrance to their home. It just tells you how grand these homes were here on Millionaire's Row. And all that's left is a bunch of foundations and chimneys. But even the architecture in the foundations and chimneys and porches that you can still see are amazing. Too bad the national park couldn't save them. But they did save Daisy Town, so you can also tell I'm still, my voice is still not there all the way. So, but yeah, I love coming here because I love thinking what it was like back in the, you know, early 1900s and stuff when folks were out here swimming in the little river and just enjoying life. It's a special place. Now the fireflies call this home. Synchronous fireflies. And the backing on this seat has finally collapsed. I remember seeing both backings and slowly they've been deteriorating. It's sad, but one day we'll come here and there won't be nothing left, no steps. The chimney will probably return to the earth where it came, and this would have been a front porch to one of these amazing houses here on Millionaire's Row. And you got the river right in the background. I've seen a lot of photos of folks up here in the summer months cooling off in the river, and they had great big parties. You know, they were like socialites, you know. So they had parties, and it must have been a lot of fun, you know. And the only way you could get up here was by a train. And now we're here in Daisy Town. And this part has been restored just recently by the National Park System. And kind of gives you a glimpse of what it was like to vacation here in the Great Smoky Mountains. And I'm glad we got this. We might have lost Millionaire's Row, but we still have Daisy Town. And I always like coming over to this little pictorial here, I guess you'd call it, or a little placard. And it gives you an idea of what this street looked like, you know, back in the day. Since the National Park has redone these, it looks a lot like it did back in the early 1900s. And we're not going to go through all of them, but I do recommend if you come to the National Park, this is a great stop. And it's fun to go through all these little cabins. It is. It's I guess maybe you wouldn't think so, but it is. It's a lot of fun. And everything is open. You can walk through everything. And they all got their little kitchens and their little rooms and little, you know what I mean? It's a really great place. And you have the Appalachian Club at the end is where they held these great big parties and dances and social events. And do you remember coming here and these were in really bad shape and there was holes in the floors and you can see up through the roofs on some of them, and I believe at one point they thought about tearing it all down and just leveling it, and somebody said, hey, no, this is history, and they saved it. Now we can enjoy it by going through here. And vacationing is probably the biggest thing here in the Smokies, obviously. I mean, it's the biggest. The economy in this area depends on tourism, and this is tourism in this area at its earliest, you know what I mean? At earliest form, anyways. And it's kind of an example of, it's really cool. It's really cool to think about. I guess you could think about it many different ways. We did a live stream the other day, and someone said, that little dollhouse, I know people call it by different things, but that little house right there, they're like, what's the story behind it? And there's a lot of different stories behind it, but the story that I believe is the closest to the truth is it's a kind of a playhouse. It was for the kids. They would come up there in the summer months. The parents would stay in the main cabin, and then the kids would play and probably camp in the little cabin. It was supposed to be built for a little girl, I keep hearing about, but the exact story is a little, cloudy, but I believe that's the closest to the truth on it. Some people say it's haunted. In fact, a lot of folks say this whole area is haunted. It is kind of creepy at night. We've been here at night before, kind of walking around. It does have a little bit of a vibe, but I don't think so. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just a great area. Also, you got the Elkmont campground, which is all over there, and it's a great place to camp. It's somewhat primitive, They don't have showers or that, but they do have flushing toilets and running water. But it's a great campground. So today's not going to be a long video. We just wanted to come to National Park and tell you all that there's going to be a lot more National Park adventures coming. We're still going to do what we've always done, a mixture of everything. But we are going to be able to do even more here. Also, all those national parks in the Northwest that I'm super excited for. And we've been holding off for this moment. So expect those to be coming. That's it, right?
Yeah. It's nice to be back in nature and get some fresh air after being cooped up in the house for a while.
Yeah, especially after 10 days of being sick. But we don't want to be out here too long because
we don't want to get it again.
Well, that's what we were saying is like right now we're extending like the amount of time we want to be outside. So it is time to head back home, relax for the evening. It wasn't a long one, but it was a fun one. It was an informational one. And we had lots of fun making it. But folks, that's going to do it for today here in the Great Smoky Mountains. Thank you so much for watching our little adventures. Now it's time for you to go out there and have your own. We love you, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.
Lord willing and the creek don't rise, they'll take you to see the countryside, driving all over Tennessee in their little yellow Jeep. You can come along wherever they go, all you gotta do is watch the show, so be sure you tune in. Don, would you do this again?